Hello lovely viewers, welcome back to the Glow Pilates Studio channel. I'm Julia and thanks for joining me for this 30-minute full body Pilates workout. When you feel ready to begin, roll out your mat and come to a hip-width parallel stance to start our warm-up. Let's begin by pressing your arms back, taking a deep inhale, and with your exhale, sit into your chair pose. Inhale to recover and exhale to sit. Continue at a steady pace, focusing on aligning your hips and knees over your second toes. Let's go for a couple more. And now take it into some little pulses, halfway up and all the way down. Try to deepen the bend of your knees here if you can. Hold your deepest chair pose and take 2 full deep breaths. And recover. Step your feet a little bit wider into a little bit of turnout. And let's repeat that whole sequence again. Let's begin with our chair poses, aligning hips and knees over second toes. And as we're working in turnout here, you should be able to go deeper this second time around. Just a couple more. And take it into our pulses, halfway up and all the way down, deepening your pose. Hold your deepest pose for 2 breaths, pressing your knees open over the second toes. And recover. Let's give our legs a little breather. Reach the arms behind you. Interlace your fingertips. Arch your chest. And with your exhale, wave your ribs down onto your thighs, softening the knees and allowing your shoulders to roll forward overhead. Gently release your clasped arms, straighten your knees, and slowly round back up to standing. Let's repeat that again. Clasp your hands behind you. Inhale to arch your chest up. Exhale, wave your ribs down onto your thighs and find your shoulders stretch. Release your hands, straighten your knees, and round it back up. Let's repeat this sequence one more time and feel free to hold longer. Anything that feels good to you right now. We'll continue into our cactus pose. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, widen the elbows and arch the chest. Inhale, arms reach up. And exhale, dive forward to your forward hang. Hands come to shins as you see the horizon in your halfway lift. And exhale, slide down and roll up to standing. Let's repeat this sequence again. Feel free to go at your own pace, deepening each pose. One more time into your cactus pose, warming up the shoulders and spine. And dive a little deeper forward into your forward hang, lengthening your hamstrings. Let's take an extra couple of breaths in your halfway lift, shifting a little bit more forward into your toes. Slide your hands down towards the floor and walk it out into your downward dog. Take a couple of breaths, reaching your ribs closer towards your thighs. And when you feel ready, Take it into a slow march, bending one knee at a time, deepening your hamstring length. When you feel even, lower both heels to your mat. Rise up onto both sets of toes and drop both heels down lower. Inhale, rise to the toes. Exhale, drop the heels. Just a couple more sets, deepening the length through the backs of your legs. And rise up onto your toes. Soften your knees down 1 inch off of your mat to your short plank. Exhale, press your hips back into your downward dog. Inhale, come into your short plank. Let's repeat this a few more times, starting to warm up your shoulders and starting to find your core. Be ready to hold your next short plank, shoulders stacking over your wrists, and exhale, twist both knees to the right. Exhale, both knees to the left. Find your obliques, but try to keep your neutral spine and stacking of shoulders over wrists. Come back to center and let's begin to march one knee forward at a time, aiming each knee to the opposite elbow. So let's think of a crisscross action here as you exhale to bend each knee. Nice warm up. Take those knees down, sit back into your child's pose, and let's take a couple of breaths to reset. When you feel ready, round up onto hands and knees, and let's come into your cow back. Arch your spine, look up with your inhale. Round your spine, and exhale, see your belly button. Try to find a wave through every portion of your spine. And think of pressing the floor away with your hands and shins as you round your back. One more time. And come back to your neutral spine, stacking shoulders over wrists. We'll come into some retractions and protractions next. Keeping your elbows straight, sink down through the shoulders and then lift right back out of your shoulders. Let's inhale to sink down, retract. Exhale to lift out and protract. Come into your best protraction. Hold your neutral spine. And now bend your elbows parallel into our tricep press. And straighten back up. Let's inhale to bend, staying as far forward over your fingertips as you can. Exhale to recover. Just a couple more. And now we'll add some timing to your tricep press. Let's bend down for 3, 2, 1, press all the way up. Inhale, bend for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, press up. Again, we bend for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, press up. Last time, bend for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, press up. Let's reverse that timing. Bend your elbows on 1. Press up 3, 2, 1. Inhale, bend all the way down. Exhale 3, 2, 1. Inhale, bend. Staying over those fingertips. Press up 3, 2, 1. Last time we bend. Press up 3, 2, 1. Great job. Sit back onto your heels and let's just give our wrists a little moment here. Feel free to shake them out or stretch them out however you need to recover. We'll meet back in our quadruped position for some shoulder stabilization. Come onto all fours, find your neutral spine, lift out of your shoulders, and when you're ready, extend your left arm and right leg up to hip and shoulder level. Let's begin to tap lightly down and lifting back up with both limbs, doing your best not to rock backwards onto your back knee as you do so. Inhale, tap. Exhale, lift. Tap and lift one more time. And hold your limbs in the air, flex your back foot. Slowly open arm and leg to the side. Exhale to close. Take this at your own pace and range, challenging your balance point and strength of your supporting shoulder. Just a couple more. Keep your leg in the air, point your back toes, and take your fingertips behind your head. Exhale, twist elbow to knee. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, little twist. Inhale to open. Just a couple more of this crisscross. And come back to the floor, recenter, and switch to the other side. Right arm, left leg, lift to shoulder and hip level. Let's begin our light taps. Inhaling to tap down and exhaling to lift. Bring your attention into your supporting shoulder. Make sure you're lifting out of that shoulder and not rocking backwards. Pause in the air, flex your back foot, and let's begin to slowly open arm and leg to the side. Exhale, close back to center. Working at your own pace and range here. Point the back toes, fingertips behind your head. Exhale to your twist. Inhale to open. Exhale, elbow to knee. Just a couple more. Beautiful job. Sit back into your child's pose and take a couple of breaths to recenter. Let's give our wrists a break and come forward onto our elbows and forearms next. Try to keep your chest and eyes slightly lifted as you extend your right leg behind you and all the way up to the ceiling. We'll come into some more toe taps. Inhale, tap down. Exhale, lift. But this time try to deepen the work in your right glutes and hamstring as you lift your leg a little higher. Let's continue to our rainbow taps, tapping the corners of your mat with your toes and lifting high in the center. Try to remind yourself to lift out of your chest and shoulders and gaze beyond the front edge of your mat. Make a little pause to bend your back knee and flex your foot. And let's continue that rainbow action with your bent knee. Think of reaching your right knee towards the corners of your mat. Just one more. And take it back into center. With a parallel leg, we pulse the heel high towards the ceiling, exhaling to lift the thigh. Just a couple more. And set this knee down. Pass through your child's pose briefly to reset. And let's be ready to repeat all of that on the other side. When you're ready, come back onto your elbows and forearms. Lift out of your chest and shoulders and gaze beyond your mat. Extend your left leg behind you as high as you can go in your neutral spine and begin our taps down through center and lifting up to the ceiling. Inhale to tap, exhale to lift. Take those taps to the corners of your mat for our rainbow taps. Great time to check in with the lift out of your shoulders here and the hug of the belly to the spine. Take a little pause to bend your knee, flex your foot, continue that rainbow with your kneecap. Just a couple more. And let's finish off with our heel pulses to the ceiling. Exhale to lift into your parallel leg as high as you can from your glutes and hamstring. Final 2. And set this knee down. Take a breather in your child's pose once again. Beautiful job so far. Let's continue to lying down on your mat, face down, to work our back muscles a little bit deeper. We'll begin with Cobra. Step your fingertips outside of your mat, elbows pointing to the ceiling, and come into an arch of your upper body, gazing towards the horizon. Take this time to roll your shoulders down and back and connect deeper into your lats. Try to keep the height of your chest here as you bring your hands off the floor into your goalpost position. And we'll come into some chest lifts. Inhale to lift your chest as high as you can. Exhale, lower halfway down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Keep going. We will continue your chest lifts and now add some elbow circles. Circle the elbows up and back to lift the chest higher and to connect deeper into your lats. Let's reverse those elbow circles. Circle back, up, and forward. Inhale up, exhale forward. Just a couple more. And lower those hands to the floor, stack them, rest your forehead on top to take a moment to fully relax. Reset your small hover of the chest off the floor and reach your arms to the side like the letter T. Reach back towards your feet as you lift your chest higher. Exhale, return to that hover. Inhale to your upper body flight position. And exhale, come down to your hover. Keep going. Let's continue to our full flight position by adding in both legs off the floor. As you lift your chest and reach back to your feet, try to lift your legs to the height of your chest. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Set your feet down onto the mat. Place your hands underneath your shoulders and passing through your cobra and chest lift position, continue higher into your swan. Use your parallel tricep press to bring yourself down with control. Inhale to lift the eyes, chest, ribs, maybe even hips. Delay your eyes and nose on the way down. Keep going, articulating through your spine and supporting your spine with your abdominals. If you wish, you can scoot your hands back an extra inch before your final and best swan. Pause when you arrive, tuck your toes, and hover your thighs off the floor for up stretch. Hinge through the hips, wave through the spine back into your downward dog. Rise high up on your toes and lower the knees to the floor to sit back once again into your child's pose. When you feel ready, slowly round up to sitting, and let's transition to lying down on your back. Let's bring our arms now to a low diagonal on either side of your hips and hover your legs to your tabletop, knees stacking over hips. We'll begin with some toe taps, tapping one set of toes down and then the other. Let's use our exhale with every alternating leg. As you continue your toe taps, try to think of a seat belt across your lower abdominals, tightening as you lower each leg. Continue alternating legs, but now let's go simultaneously with our scissor. Exhale, switch. Exhale, switch. Keep going, doing your very best not to react in the shoulders. Bring your legs together, glue them into one unit, and exhale for your double toe tap. This will probably be a smaller range of motion than your single toe taps, as we're doing our best here not to arch your low back. Option to continue your double toe taps as they are, or you can add a little roll over, taking your pelvis off the floor and rolling over onto your shoulder blades in between your toe taps. Choose whatever level suits you best. Let's go for a couple more sets. And when you feel ready, come into your neutral spine. Set your feet down on the floor, knees bent, hip width apart. Reach your arms towards the ceiling. Take an inhale, and with your exhale, lift your hips to your bridge. Exhale, articulate down through the spine to neutral. And exhale, articulate back up to your bridge. Let's do a couple more bridges, starting to connect to the backs of your legs a little bit deeper. We will come into some hip dips next, lowering your hips halfway down and lifting back up by tucking your tail under. Let's inhale to lower and exhale to lift. Hold on to your highest bridge position and now begin to lift and lower both heels. Try your best not to affect the rest of your body, just moving through the ankles. Keep your bridge position and transition into some marches, dropping one heel at a time, lightly tapping the floor, and still lifting through those hips. When you're ready, bring your two heels off the floor, stabilize, inhale your arms overhead, and exhale, lower your hips, coming into a head curl. Reverse that path. Reach your arms overhead and lift the hips. Exhale, lower the hips, curl your upper body forward. Totally up to you here if you'd like to rise onto your toes in your bridge or keep your heels down. Be ready to hold your next upper body curl, and we'll begin to pump the arms for the 100. Inhale for 5 pumps and exhale for 5 pumps. Do your best not to rock the rest of the body back and forth. Just keep the pumps in your triceps. Make a little pause, float your legs to tabletop, and continue your pumps. Inhaling for 5, exhaling for 5. You always have the option to set your feet down on the floor if you prefer. Last set. And hug your knees into your chest. Take a little moment. Well done. That was a full set of the 100. Let's rock and roll up to sitting next and transition into our side series. Prop yourself up onto your elbow. Lift out of that bottom shoulder. And keeping 2 knees bent, let's begin your simple clamshells. Exhale to press your top knee open and inhale to close. Continue your clamshells. The option here to hover your feet off the floor. Do your best to stabilize your top hip and bottom shoulder as we begin to invert your clamshells. Knees together, then toes together. Just a couple more. Set those legs down and take yourself down onto your rib cage, supporting your head. Take your top leg in its tabletop to about hip level. Pick a direction and let's begin to circle your kneecap in very small, tight circles. Reverse your single leg circles. Think of stirring a teacup with your kneecap. Lower the leg all the way down. Lower yourself into a straight line, fingers to toes, and hover 2 straight legs off the floor. Come into some very smooth pulses. Inhaling to lower the legs halfway and exhaling to lift above hip level. Try to keep your toes a little bit behind your stacked hips for balance here. Lower the legs, roll onto your front, and let's transition through your child's pose. We'll take all of that onto the other side. So come onto your opposite elbow, set up your bottom shoulder, lifting out of that arm, and come into your 2 bent knees. When you feel ready, begin your simple clamshells. Exhaling to press that knee open, inhaling to connect your knees. Option here to hover your feet off the floor or to keep your feet down. Continue to invert your clamshells. Check in with your bottom shoulder and check that your hips are stacked, trying not to sway through that top hip. Lower your legs, come down onto your rib cage, support your head, and let's take it into our single leg circles. Begin to circle your kneecap, And try not to go too high above hip level, but rather staying at hip level. Reverse your circles. Lower your leg and take a moment to come into a straight line, fingers to toes. Lift both legs off the floor, find your balance point, and begin your smooth pulses. We're going to try not to touch the floor between your leg lifts here, and try your best to keep the legs connected like one unit. Just a few more. Beautiful job. Roll over onto your front. Pass through your child's pose one more time. And let's finish off our class today with our thoracic twist. When you feel ready, come onto hands and knees onto all fours. Inhale, open your left arm as far as you can to the ceiling. Feel that stretch. Exhale, thread this arm underneath your right. Set your ear, cheek, and shoulder to the floor and look up to the ceiling. Take a few breaths, pressing away from your right arm. When you feel ready to recover, reach your left arm to the ceiling again and slowly circle it back towards your feet until it reaches the floor. Let's switch to the other side. Inhale, open your right arm. Exhale, thread it underneath the left, ear, cheek, and shoulder down. Look up to the ceiling. Push away from your left arm and breathe into your deep twist. Slightly shift your hips back when you're ready to recover. Reach your arm even further towards the ceiling and take your time, circling back and coming back down to the floor. Thank you so much for joining me for this class. I would love to hear your thoughts or any suggestions in the comments below. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to this channel for more future content and giving this video a like. See you in the next class.